Hi, Paul Slack. It's Good News Planet. I'm here with the Lieutenant Governor of New York State, Kathleen Hochul. Do I say that your last name correct?
It is Hochul. You're very close, though, Paul.
Okay, very close. You were born upstate here in New York, right?
Yes, I was. I was born in Buffalo, actually Lackawanna, a steel town outside of Buffalo, and humble beginnings. My parents used to live in a trailer park when my dad worked at the steel plant, but very typical of a Western New Yorker during the 60s and 70s, and it was a great place to grow up.
Buffalo's a great town. I had the excitement in my life when I went up. I did an I Love New York campaign up in the Finger Lakes, and we came down and we went into Buffalo, and Buffalo is quite cool.
It's even cooler now. The last 5 or 6 years, there's been an extraordinary transformation. The Outer Harbor finally embracing our greatest asset, which is the lakes. Niagara Falls close by, but also even the Buffalo River, which had been polluted and given up for dead, and now there's people kayaking on it and water biking. We created a bicycle that floats on water. There's floating tiki bars, and there's a lot of energy now. So it's a great place for young people. So I've lived long enough now to see a complete revitalization of my hometown, and it's been great. And Governor and I have worked very hard to bring back upstate communities that have been forgotten literally for 40 years. And so I'm very proud of it.
So New York State, I am born in Tarrytown, New York, so I'm a real New Yorker. And I grew up in a little small town, Tarrytown, and it was quite diverse. New York is a very, very diverse state, isn't it, from people from all around the world?
That is why we are the best state in America, because the diversity and how we not just happen to be a place that the people from all over the world live, but we have the Statue of Liberty in our harbor. And to us, that sets the tone for what we expect from ourselves, and that is to have open arms to people from around the world, people who may be fleeing dictators and people who've been coming from war-torn countries in search of a better life, or people who are entrepreneurs who wanted to come from other places like China and Asia to set up a new business opportunity. So New York is so welcoming. The borough of Queens is one of the most diverse communities on the planet, and I've spent many, many times there going to parades and ethnic festivals and Lunar New Year events, and it is incredible. But that's New York City. The same can be said for upstate communities, because it is a philosophy that we have, is that we are open to immigrants from all walks of life, anywhere you want to come. We want you to make New York your home and feel welcome here.
Yay, okay, we like that by far. The reason at this time I've interviewed you at other charitable organizations, benefits for women's rights and so on and so forth, and this time we're interviewing you. There was an event called the Asian American Business Council here, John Huang, and I guess at that moment something happened with government. You weren't able to come down. You sent one of your diversity, I think, people to speak about the Asian American aspect of New York, I guess, here in New York itself and worldwide, about working with Asian companies and Asian organizations. So tell us a little bit about that part of it.
Well, one of the roles I play for this administration is to be an ambassador. I go to visit the consul generals from many diverse countries, and when I have a chance to meet those representing Asian countries, I have an opportunity to talk to them about businesses that they have here in the U.S. and here in New York State, but also opportunities for us to do work in their countries as well. So this particular event, I think my plane was canceled because of fog in New York City. And so it was a bad night. I had fully intended to be there, but I have to sometimes rely on the airports to get me where I need to go. So I was very disappointed to miss that. But I did hear all about it, and what a celebration of the contributions that the businesses where individuals may have been born somewhere in Asia have come here. And the investments are incredible. The human capital, the intellect that these individuals have displayed to really sometimes come here with nothing but the shirt on their backs, and to create a whole life for themselves and their families, but also to create jobs for other people. And most of them start as small business, a lot of mom and pop businesses, but because they're so entrepreneurial, they work so hard, they have a strong work ethic, that they often can grow their businesses even bigger and stronger. So we truly value the contributions of the Asian business community, and to have an opportunity to celebrate them and to say we are so happy and so proud that you have made New York State your home. It was a wonderful event. I heard all about it.
It was, and we broadcast a lot of it. We did some interviews with I guess some of the honorees also, some of the top Fortune 200 companies were in that room. And PepsiCo representative was also honored, and SAP, and so on and so forth. It just was really a special event. One of the things that were discussed there was women's minority outreach that the state of New York does. What's that all about?
That is what we call the MWBE program, Minority and Women-Owned Businesses. And you should be proud to know that our home state of New York has the most aggressive standard and goals to have minority-owned businesses get bigger shares of state contracts. In fact, we have a 29% investment rate with people who are from companies like that meet that description. And what it does is it gives people who otherwise may not have a shot to get some of these bigger dollars an opportunity to level the playing field, because many times there's language as a barrier. They don't know the old boys system. They're not at the country club rubbing elbows trying to get business deals. They're out there working hard. And so we have allocated over $2 billion of money from state contracts, all kinds of contracts, whether it's infrastructure, education, social services, and to make sure that women and minority-owned businesses have a fair shot at those. And it's been wildly successful. I speak at their conferences in Albany with great frequency. I encourage them. I encourage people to apply for that status, to get their MWBE certificate issued through the state of New York. And once they have that and they're certified, they can apply for all kinds of business opportunities. And that can often be the catalyst for them to be propelled into a much more profitable operation. And they can expand, hire more people. So it's been wildly successful.
Yay. Okay. I love that. And being a real New York State person, we're actually working with the state in some capacity also for movement forwards with our own company. Actually, we were started with this by the Chinese back in 1985, and in multicultural marketing and advertising. I actually did the I Love New York campaign at one point to the Chinese and some of the ethnic communities. The state has really supported my own company, and we look towards a greater growth with the state of New York. So I'm very honored by far. And I even had a chance to interview Matilda Cuomo, the governor's wife, the mother, and that was a beautiful. And that was she was. I think she stands for what New York State stands for, and what Mario Cuomo has stood for in New York. And having lived here my whole life, it was equality, and you have a thing: no hate in our state. I've always found that New York has been very, very open-minded and considerate of all.
That is exactly correct. And with what's going on in Washington today, I believe that Americans all over need to know that our entire country is not painted with one brush based on what someone says or tweets about other people. That you can come to a place like New York. Well, we will respect you and honor you and support you regardless of the color of your skin or which God you worship or what country you came from. And that to me is something that makes us so special and so unique. And particularly in 2019 with what we've been dealing with and overt racism and discrimination, it is a very hostile environment if you're not a white individual. And we have to break that down and not start going backwards to a time when discrimination and racism was more rampant. I want to make sure that we look at a future where we embrace our diversity and celebrate it and view it as a strength, as we do here in the state of New York.
Yeah, I think it's almost inbred here as New Yorkers. I mean, we're known to be vocal and verbal and say, please move away or move over in the subway and so on and so forth. But it's almost expected that it's not taken as an insult. It's taken as part of life.
Right.
Our daily life is really how could all these millions of people come into New York and we have peace every day?
That's right. That's right.
It's a miracle.
It is, but individuals make it happen. And so New Yorkers, while they are tough, they also say you pick on one of us, you're picking on all of us. And I've said that at many rallies in support of people who've been discriminated against or communities that have been ostracized, whether it's the LGBTQ community, whether it's the Asian community, whether it's people from the Hispanic community. We have seen so many assaults on different groups that I have taken that opportunity standing with others to say, you attack one of us, you've just picked a fight with 20 million New Yorkers, and you do not want to go there.
There you go. Last question. We're involved with Woodstock Forever, Peace, Love, and Hope. We did the 20th anniversary of Woodstock with Richie Havens, Brooklyn boy, in Times Square, New York, and the crossroads of the world. And in our movie, it's all about that time and speaking about next generations. That's what Richie talked about. And we've added current people talking about what makes life peaceful and loving and hopeful. So I'd like to ask you, what is the Lieutenant Governor of New York? What is hope for you?
I have two different points of view on this. One is deeply personal, and that for myself and my family, I hope that my children are healthy and that I can continue to be elected to positions to serve the people. But I've now moved away from what is hope for me to realizing that in my position, I can bring hope to others. And it is far more satisfying and rewarding to be able to go to a underserved community here in the 5 boroughs, or to go to a remote part of our state, and just by showing up and walking their streets and holding their hands and talking to them, that I can bring them hope and the belief that their state government truly cares about them. So beyond just hoping for good things for myself and my family, I've been elected official for 25 years, and that confers a responsibility that I bring hope to others, and it is a powerful tool that I use in my position to try and make people believe that their best days do lie ahead.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.